Once upon a time, there was a small village in the middle of nowhere. The villagers were all very superstitious and believed in all sorts of supernatural entities. One day, a stranger named John came to the village. He was tall, dark, and had a mysterious aura about him. The villagers were all afraid of him, but they didn't know why. John asked the villagers if he could stay in the village for a few days. The villagers reluctantly agreed, but they were all very uneasy about it. That night, strange things started happening in the village. People heard strange noises and saw shadows moving in the darkness. The villagers were all terrified, but they didn't know what to do. The next morning, one of the villagers named Sarah was found dead. Her body was mutilated and her eyes were missing. The villagers were all horrified, and they knew that something terrible was happening in their village. They decided to confront John, but when they went to his room, he was nowhere to be found. The villagers searched the village, but they couldn't find John. They decided to leave the village and never come back. As they were leaving, they saw John standing on a hill watching them. He had a sinister smile on his face, and the villagers knew that they had made a terrible mistake. As they were leaving the village, they heard John's voice in their heads. He was laughing, and he told them that he would follow them wherever they went. The villagers were all terrified, and they knew that they would never be able to escape John's wrath. Years later, a group of friends were traveling through the area and decided to camp near the abandoned village. They had heard stories about the village and wanted to explore it. The group consisted of Mike, Jenny, Tom, and Lena. Mike was the leader of the group. He was brave and adventurous, but he could be reckless at times. Jenny was the brains of the group. She was smart and resourceful, and she always had a plan. Tom was the joker of the group. He was always making jokes and trying to lighten the mood. Lena was the quiet one. She was shy and reserved, but she was also very observant. As they were exploring the village, strange things started happening. They heard strange noises and saw shadows moving in the darkness. They were all terrified, but they didn't know what to do. Suddenly, they heard John's voice in their heads. "John, welcome back, my old friends. I've been waiting for you," said John. "Mike, who's there?" "Show yourself," said Mike. "John, you shouldn't have come back. You should have stayed away," said John. "Jenny, what do you want from us?" said Jenny. "John, I want revenge." "You shouldn't have left me behind," said John. "Tom, what are you talking about?" "We don't even know you," said Tom. "John, you will. You'll know me very well soon enough," said John. "And then Lena says we have to get out of here." Now, the group tried to run, but John was too fast. He caught them one by one and killed them in the most gruesome ways imaginable. As Lena was running away, she stumbled upon a hidden room in one of the houses. In the room, she found a book that contained information about John. She learned that he was a demon who had been summoned by the villagers' ancestors. The only way to stop him was to perform a ritual that would send him back to hell. Lena gathered all the materials she needed for the ritual and went back to the village. She performed the ritual, and John was sent back to hell. Lena was the only survivor of the group, but she had saved the world from the same fate. Years later, Lena returned to the village. She wanted to see if John was really gone. When she got there, she found that the village was still abandoned, but she could feel something watching her. She turned around, and there was John. He had come back from hell, and he was more powerful than ever. If you liked the story, please don't forget to like, to subscribe, and to share this horror story.